As a Stoic, you must be strong, and you must remove this 10 habits that will constantly make you weaker and bring you down. 1. Focusing on things outside your control. When we focus on external factors beyond our influence, we engage in a futile endeavor that breeds frustration and feelings of powerlessness. Such preoccupations divert us from utilizing our true locus of control, our own actions, decisions, and internal responses. This Stoic concept echoes the wisdom of focusing our energy and intentions on areas where we can affect real change. Stoicism teaches us to embrace our agency in making choices and shaping our attitudes, rather than being ensnared in the web of external circumstances. This approach is not about indifference towards external events, but about a pragmatic acceptance and a strategic focus on where our efforts are most efficacious. It's akin to an archer aiming an arrow. While the archer cannot control the wind, they can master their aim, their preparation, and their technique. By centering our lives around what we can control, we cultivate inner strength, resilience, and a sense of empowerment. It's a recognition that while the world may be unpredictable and often uncontrollable, our reactions and attitudes remain our sovereign territory. Embracing the Stoic mindset leads to a more centered, effective, and peaceful life, where we act not as passive victims of fate, but as active navigators of our journey. 2. Avoiding challenges. Stoicism, while not advocating for needless hardship, recognizes the value in facing challenges directly. Avoiding difficulties might seem protective, but it actually leads to a weakening of character and resilience. Stoicism posits that life's trials are not mere burdens, but are, in fact, instrumental in developing virtues such as resilience, wisdom, and strength. Challenges are the crucibles in which our character is tested and tempered. Stoics regard every difficulty as a teacher, each obstacle as a lesson, believing that in the heart of hardship lies the potential for personal growth and enlightenment. By facing adversities head-on, we not only overcome them, but also glean wisdom and fortitude in the process. This philosophy encourages us to view challenges not as impediments, but as opportunities to manifest our best selves. The Stoic approach is about embracing life's difficulties with courage and a proactive mindset. This perspective transforms our relationship with challenges. Instead of being sources of fear or avoidance, they become pathways to greater self-understanding and capability. It's about understanding that comfort and ease may appease in the short term, but they do little for growth and development. Stoicism teaches us to step into the arena of life, to engage with its challenges, not as foes to be feared, but as allies in our quest for a meaningful and virtuous life. Embracing challenges is a testament to our commitment to personal excellence and to living a life that's true to Stoic ideals. 3. Complaining about adversity. Complaining about adversity is viewed in Stoic philosophy as counterproductive and indicative of a weak character. Stoics see every challenge as an opportunity to exercise virtues like patience, endurance, and resilience. Mere complaining about circumstances does not alter them, but merely squanders energy that could be constructively used to find solutions or adapt to the situation. Stoicism promotes a proactive approach to adversity, encouraging us to meet challenges head-on and use them as a means to grow and strengthen our character. This philosophy teaches us to adopt a perspective of pragmatic optimism, where adversities are not just endured, but are actively utilized as catalysts for personal development. Stoicism emphasizes the cultivation of an internal locus of control, urging us to focus on our reactions and actions in the face of difficulties, rather than lamenting over uncontrollable external events. By embracing adversity, we develop a deeper understanding of ourselves and our capabilities, learning to remain composed and effective under pressure. Stoicism is not about denying the hardship or discomfort of adverse situations, but about confronting them with a composed and rational mindset. It teaches us to extract wisdom from our struggles, to see them as integral parts of our life's journey, and to use them as stepping stones towards a more resilient and virtuous self. In this way, Stoicism transforms our relationship with adversity, turning it from a source of complaint into a platform for growth and self-actualization. Subscribe and join our Stoicism family. 4. Allowing emotions to overwhelm. Doesn't mean that Stoics advocate for the suppression or denial of emotions. On the contrary, Stoicism acknowledges emotions as natural human responses. However, it emphasizes the need for emotions to be guided by reason and virtue. When emotions like anger, fear, or sadness overwhelm us, they can cloud our judgment and lead to irrational decisions or actions that stray from our values. Stoics like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius believed that emotions should be examined and processed rationally, not impulsively acted upon. This concept is not about detaching from emotions, but about understanding their origin and impact on our behavior. By recognizing and analyzing our emotions, we can respond to them in ways that align with our principles. For example, instead of reacting in anger, a Stoic might pause, reflect on the source of the anger, and choose a response that is in keeping with virtues like patience and understanding. This process of emotional regulation is key to maintaining inner peace and making wise decisions. Furthermore, Stoicism teaches that our happiness and tranquility depend largely on our internal state, not external circumstances. Allowing emotions to dominate our psyche can lead to a turbulent mind and a life swayed by every passing emotion. Stoicism, therefore, advocates for a balanced approach where emotions are neither suppressed nor allowed to dominate, but are understood and integrated in a way that maintains inner harmony and rationality. This Stoic approach to emotions is deeply empowering. It suggests that we have the capability to choose how we interpret and respond to our emotions. By doing so, we cultivate a strong, resilient character, capable of facing life's ups and downs with equanimity and wisdom. It is in mastering our emotions, not in being enslaved by them, that we find true freedom and strength. 5. Pursuing external validation. Stoicism, with its emphasis on internal virtues, teaches that seeking external validation is a path to disappointment and an indication of inner weakness. According to Stoic philosophy, true contentment and self-worth should come from within, based on our own assessment of our virtues and actions, not from the approval or opinion of others. This reliance on external validation makes our happiness and self-esteem contingent on factors outside our control, leading to a fragile sense of self. The Stoics, such as Epictetus, argued that what others think of us is not only beyond our control, but also irrelevant to our own virtue and character. Our focus should be on living according to our principles and striving for personal excellence in our actions. This self-reliance fosters a robust sense of self-worth that is not easily shaken by external opinions or societal pressures. Moreover, the pursuit of external validation often leads us to compromise our values and authenticity. We might find ourselves doing things not because we believe in them, but because we seek approval or fear disapproval. This misalignment with our true self is at odds with Stoic principles, which advocate for living a life of integrity and authenticity. Stoicism encourages us to turn our gaze inward and seek fulfillment and validation from living a virtuous life. This internal focus builds resilience, as our sense of worth and satisfaction becomes less vulnerable to the changing tides of public opinion and social validation. It's a journey towards self-sufficiency where our happiness and peace of mind are determined by our own actions and choices, rather than the whims and judgments of others. 6. Neglecting self-reflection. Neglecting this practice can lead to a lack of self-awareness and a life that is not in alignment with one's values and principles. Self-reflection allows us to examine our thoughts, actions, and motivations, and to assess whether they are congruent with our ideals of virtue and wisdom. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, who wrote extensively in his Meditations, viewed self-reflection as a daily exercise for maintaining ethical integrity and personal growth. Through self-reflection, we can identify our shortcomings, biases, and irrational beliefs and work towards correcting them. It also helps us to cultivate gratitude, perspective, and a deeper understanding of our place in the world. Neglecting self-reflection means missing out on the opportunity to grow and improve. Without regular introspection, we can easily fall into unexamined habits, react impulsively, and stray from our path of virtue. Self-reflection is not only about scrutinizing our faults, but also about acknowledging our strengths and progress, which is essential for building self-confidence and resilience. Stoicism teaches that an unexamined life is not worth living. By regularly engaging in self-reflection, we ensure that our lives are aligned with our values, and we live with purpose and intention. It's a practice that fosters self-awareness, wisdom, and a profound understanding of oneself and the world, leading to a life that is not only morally grounded but also deeply fulfilling. 7. Overindulging in sensory pleasures. Stoicism, a philosophy deeply rooted in the pursuit of virtue, cautions against the overindulgence in sensory pleasures. According to Stoic thought, overindulgence can lead to a weakening of character and a dependency on external sources of happiness. The Stoics, including philosophers like Seneca, emphasized the importance of self-control and moderation. They believed that overindulgence in pleasures such as food, drink, or luxury can enslave us to our desires, making us more vulnerable to external circumstances and less in control of our lives. Overindulgence distracts us from the pursuit of true happiness, which Stoics argue is found in living a life of virtue and inner tranquility. Pleasure in moderation is not condemned by Stoicism. However, when the pursuit of sensory gratification becomes a primary focus, it detracts from the development of virtues such as discipline, temperance, and self-sufficiency. This reliance on sensory pleasures for fulfillment also creates a cycle of desire and dissatisfaction, as sensory pleasures are fleeting and often lead to a desire for more. Instead, Stoicism advocates for finding joy in the simple things and deriving satisfaction from the practice of virtue and self-improvement. By practicing moderation and focusing on inner development, we cultivate a sense of contentment that is not dependent on external stimuli. This approach leads to a more stable and resilient state of happiness, one that is less susceptible to the highs and lows of sensory indulgence. 8. Being dishonest with oneself and others. Stoicism, with its strong emphasis on virtue and integrity, considers honesty to be fundamental. Being dishonest with oneself or others is a violation of Stoic principles, as it leads to a life that is not in harmony with truth and virtue. Self-deception prevents us from seeing the world and ourselves as they truly are, hindering personal growth and moral development. Dishonesty with others, on the other hand, erodes trust and damages relationships, which are essential for a harmonious and virtuous life. For Stoics like Epictetus, being truthful is not just a moral duty, but also a practical necessity for living a wise and authentic life. When we are honest with ourselves, we are better able to understand our motivations, weaknesses, and strengths, and can make more informed and virtuous decisions. Honesty with others fosters genuine connections and mutual respect, which are crucial for social harmony and cooperation. Dishonesty, whether it's through lies, exaggeration, or omission, is often driven by fear or desire. Fear of facing the consequences of our actions, or the desire to gain some advantage. Stoicism teaches that these motivations are misguided and that the pursuit of virtue is more valuable than any short-term gain from dishonesty. By cultivating honesty, we live in alignment with our values and establish a strong foundation for a life of integrity and respect. 9. Failing to practice empathy and compassion. Empathy and compassion are key components in Stoic philosophy, emphasizing the interconnectedness of all people and the importance of understanding and caring for others. Stoicism teaches that each individual is part of a larger community and that our actions should contribute to the common good. Failing to practice empathy and compassion leads to a disconnection from others and a life that lacks depth and meaning. The Stoics, such as Marcus Aurelius, viewed empathy and compassion as essential virtues that guide our interactions with others. By practicing empathy, we put ourselves in others' shoes, understanding their perspectives and feelings. This understanding fosters tolerance, patience, and kindness, qualities that are essential for peaceful and cooperative societies. Compassion extends this understanding into action, motivating us to help others and alleviate suffering. Neglecting these virtues leads to selfishness and indifference, traits that are antithetical to Stoic values. A lack of empathy and compassion results in a narrow view of the world, focused only on one's own needs and desires. This self-centered approach not only harms our relationships, but also our own well-being, as it isolates us and deprives us of the fulfillment that comes from helping and connecting with others. Stoicism encourages us to see ourselves as part of a larger whole, where our actions impact others and contribute to the common good. By cultivating empathy and compassion, we live a more fulfilling and virtuous life, one that is in harmony with the Stoic ideals of community and service to others. 10. Resisting change and growth. In the Stoic worldview, change is an inevitable and natural part of life. Resisting change is seen as a futile effort that leads to suffering and stagnation. Stoicism teaches that growth and improvement are only possible through embracing change and adapting to new circumstances. Resistance to change is often rooted in fear of the unknown, fear of loss, or fear of failure. However, Stoics argue that this fear is based on a misunderstanding of the nature of life and our capacity to cope with change. Stoic philosophers like Seneca and Epictetus emphasize the importance of being adaptable and flexible in the face of life's constant flux. By embracing change, we open ourselves to new experiences, learning opportunities, and the possibility of personal transformation. Change, whether it is external circumstances or internal growth, is an opportunity to practice and strengthen our virtues, such as courage, resilience, and wisdom. Resisting change not only prevents personal growth, but also leads to a life that is out of sync with the natural order of things. Change is a universal law of nature, and aligning ourselves with this reality is key to living a harmonious and contented life. Stoicism encourages us to view change not as a threat, but as a natural and beneficial aspect of existence. Remove those habits if you have them and become strong again. Subscribe and join our Stoicism family. Good luck, and I will see you in the next one.